Well, Luke, today we came up against a very gritty Maidstone United side. What are your thoughts?
I got to be honest, I felt that I said it's going to be a cup final for them. I'm listening to Tristan Lewis and Simon Waters' interview yesterday about releasing the beast from the cage, letting them play with freedom and an energy, and I knew it was going to be frantic for the first 10-15 minutes. It was definitely that. I was quite comfortable in allowing them to be the home side early on because they're going to have a new lease of life. There's going to be an energy to them because the fella's gone and they've got a little bit more incentive in terms of trying to get 3 points on the board. But we didn't turn them. The platform that we had up top wasn't sticking, didn't allow us to get in touch with him. And I felt Cassidy all afternoon caused us problems and he got his just rewards with a goal.
With the manager going so late during the week, how difficult is it to know exactly how they're going to turn up today and how they're going to play?
He brought in Will de Havilland, brought in Jack Powergen, who's been left out slightly. They've kept Wassemer in the team, McLachlan, Phillips. They brought in Muldoon back in, Paxman back in. So he made a few changes, but for me it's 11v11. It's a game of football. Doesn't matter if they set up this way, set up that way. We give them as many outs as possible in terms of how we think they're going to set up. And I just felt that for the first 10-15 minutes we were nowhere near the level. I felt the first half we were disjointed. We didn't get in touch with Gozzi. Some of our distribution to Gozzi was poor. Some of our hold-up play was poor. And yeah, I think we could have stopped the goal at source. The ball down the left-hand channel initially, didn't defend it properly, goes out the other channel and then don't move. The ball shifts back a couple of yards, we don't move. We're all standing in it. It's a lot easier to head the ball as opposed to having to move and get back on the mark with Cassidy, and he did that. So yeah, look, I was a genius against Barnet. Why? Because I put Bradley Ash on with 75 on the clock and he goes and scores the winner. Unfortunately, I'm a clown today because I made 3 changes, bringing in Manny Parry, Connor Smith and Bradley Ash, and it didn't work. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. That's what a manager is, and I learn from it. I've got to build from it, but it doesn't change where I think the football club's going. It doesn't change where I have our points tally come the end of the season. We're 36 from 27. We've been on a great little run in terms of 5 unbeaten prior to today. We've extended our season going to Blythe from January the 12th. I've told everyone I want to run in that. I've got to seriously think about adding to the squad because it's not said anything out of turn, I'm not saying anything new that I've not said to the group already. I put 3 or 4 bodies back in today and I need to make sure that I can trust them moving forward. And if they're offering up performance like that, then I may need to think about bringing other people in.
We've said it before, but what we seem to witness was a team who are fighting for their lives in this division, and once they take that early lead, you know they're going to run through brick walls to defend it, and that's what seemed to play out.
I've got Charles, who's the analyst, to clip me the corners, being Dave Stevens' first half, the cross from Tom Champion to Manny Parry in the first half, the corner from Kieran to Gozzi the second half, the corner to Dave Stevens the second half, the cross from Ricketts to Parry the second half, and the pen's the pen. But for me, Dave Stevens got to score 2 goals today. Manny Parry scored 1 and I'm being told it isn't offside and should score a second, and Gozzi Ugu should be scoring a goal today. We don't get opportunities like that. We work our proverbials off all week, every week, to try and get chances like that in games of football. I'm telling you now, if Andrew Davies, who the Hartlepool centre half, who went and scored 2 goals against us up at their place, there'll be goals. We're so forgiving to oppositions that we don't put them in the back of the net. Yeah, that's 5 golden opportunities, minus the penalty. I think on the 81st minute, you scored a pen. Unfortunate for Maidstone, I think we go on and win a game of football. It's easy for me to say that now, but I just feel that would have taken a lot out of them, especially with 10 men. Unfortunate, we missed the pen. Ross Warner's the hero today. But you can't play like we did again for the first half. Chasing shadows at large parts of that game and go and think we're going to win anything.
What did you see of the red card incident when obviously takes them down to 10 men?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I knew that the first I heard of it was when their gaffer Tristan Lewis was how's he got a red? How's he got a red? So I'm thinking, well, it ain't one of our lot. So I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, Wishart stamped on Sorba. So I can only imagine he's seen something, or the liner or the fourth has seen something and he's going to give him a red. I can't question that or can't comment on that. It's something that probably galvanised them slightly. Did we utilise the ball well enough? No, I think we tried Hollywood for 3 or 4 passes as opposed to moving it a little bit more, trying to shift them across. I didn't go and put Dave Stevens up top and we want to start playing. So it infuriates me to an extent. It gets me a little bit annoyed, but we're sitting 12th in the National League, and I said to the fella beforehand, we've brought in Jamal, Manny, Ryan Huddart, Femi, Connor Smith, Bradley Ash, Justin Shaver, Josh Ramiro, Gozi Ugwu. There's 8 or 9 bodies there into a new group, and that group that are sitting in that dressing room, we've got to be 12. So I've got to be cautious whether I gamble or not and bring in 3 or 4, or I stick with what I got. And yeah, I'm realising that we'll win one, lose one, draw. And if I can get to grips with that in my head, then I'll be a lot better in terms of my emotions come the end of a 90-minute game of football.
Obviously, you showed so recently against Barnet just what we can do on our day, and will that give you confidence going into the next game against Barnet?
I said to the boys that, as Femi said, we'll react because it's Barnet. And I said, let's take that out of the equation, because Dan Curry's gone in there. He wants the job. It's not killing anyone. He's gone and picked up an unbelievable result on the road against Dagenham, and there's a new lease of life in that dressing room. So not only that, add that to the fact that the first time the two clubs have met in a competitive league fixture, we've taken the bragging rights. So I'm under no illusions. I know full well that they're going to be totally up for the game on New Year's Day. So I hope we are. I'll be preparing as if we're going there to want to win a game of football. Why? Because we've not picked up maximum points here. We win against Maidstone, I get an opportunity to probably take a point on the road, pick 4 points up against a team that your local rivals as such. I want to go there and win games of football. So I can imagine it's going to be an intense affair. So look, we beat them here. Stats say you don't go and get wins in terms of double wins over your rivals. Look at today, we beat Maidstone 2-1 at their place, and they've gone and beat us 1-0 here. I think it's tough going to go and get 6 points against any side at this level. So we know the job in hand in terms of going to Barnet on New Year's Day. But look, we're 12th in the National League with a group of players that are giving this football club everything, and for me it's just about making a decision whether I gamble. That gamble may not pay off, that gamble may pay off, but that's the decision I'd have to come to with my chairman.